Okay, guys, so this episode was all about Nexus events. What's going on, siblings? Welcome to We Sibs West Coast, East Coast Siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Tonight, we're talking episode 2 of Loki on Disney Plus. It was a great episode. So before we dive in, you see that little like button down there? Click that, hit the subscribe button, and click the bell so you don't miss. And let's get into it. Okay, so episode 2 had a lot of explaining to do. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did a really good job of this because it kept up the pace while explaining some things that we needed to know about the TVA, etc. It also established the MO of how Loki and the TVA were working together in order to find this special variant Loki. So from the very beginning of the episode, we see Loki talking to Miss Minutes about what a Nexus event is and what redlining is in particular, which is when a Nexus event gets so far out of hand that they can no longer reset it, and that would cause a breach in what they call the sacred timeline. This actually becomes kind of the nexus of the episode. Super important in this episode. But first, we have to talk about Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Try saying that 10 times fast. Which is where the TVA have tracked this Loki variant to. And this is where we're first introduced to these bombs. It basically prunes the branches from the timeline vine. Now in this mission, Loki is up to his old antics, ends up botching the entire mission, and not only does the variant Loki get away, but we also lose one of the agents, C-20. She becomes kidnapped by this variant evil Loki, and kind of the rest of the episode is about Loki proving that he can be trusted again. He's given some desk job work, and he finds out that this variant evil Loki has been hiding in Nexus events, apocalyptic events, where everything is going to be destroyed. And in those times, this variant Loki is able to do pretty much whatever they want because everything's going to get destroyed. And they explain this by going to Pompeii. And, you've seen the episode. Now, after convincing Mobius and therefore Ravonna Rainslayer of the TVA's security vulnerability in that these Nexus events, these apocalyptic Nexus events, are hiding this variant Loki's actions, they are given one last chance. It's a second mission to find this variant Loki. They send a squad, including B-15, who goes there in order to find this variant Loki. It's like some superstorm in which everyone is going to perish. Now, of course, you might be wondering, how could they even have these security vulnerabilities if they can see all through space and time, and they would know exactly from the point, they would have knowledge beforehand that Loki exposes this vulnerability and would correct it, therefore kind of creating a paradox. What's likely is the TVA is outside of the timeline, and therefore things that happen or things that get discovered in the TVA were not known previously because they didn't happen in time, technically. So they get to this giant Costco, Sam's Club looking place, and this is where we finally meet Lady Loki, who actually asks us to call her Randy, so I guess we'll refer to her character as Randy from now on to distinguish her from our Loki. Now, once Loki and Randy met, Loki, being the mischievous person that he is, was trying to cut a deal with Randy saying, let's take over the entire TVA, which Randy was completely just not interested in. But here we're seeing, once again, this is classic Loki, some confusion here as to what his prime motivations are, but we have to remember that this is the Loki that worked for Thanos, that has not gone through the same character transformation as he did by the time he died at the hands of Thanos in the events of Avengers Infinity War. But Loki was right in assuming that Randy was using these apocalyptic events to hide herself and her plans, but in this particular instance, she was not only hiding, but she had planned to completely bomb the timeline, splintering it into all these different branches, causing the TVA to go into a frenzy, even Ravonna Rainslayer having to grab a weapon and get ready for action. And after this event, Randy just jumps through a portal and Loki follows. So now Loki is into the win, and what's probably going to happen is this will be Loki chasing Randy while being chased by the TVA, because that was his last shot with the TVA. Mobius, of course, looks like an idiot, letting Loki go and escape custody. But what's probably going to happen is it's going to kind of be like The Fugitive, where Loki is running from the authorities, the TVA, while trying to prove his innocence and say, I was right, I didn't betray anybody, I was right about Randy, and I couldn't wait because you guys were going to let her get away. See, I've captured her for you, there's no need to delete me from the timeline. But it's going to be a bummer for Mobius, and he might even get sidelined by Ravonna for the events of what happened in this episode. So, guys, that's where the episode leaves us, kind of on a cliffhanger, with the reveal, of course, of Lady Loki, aka Randy, aka whatever you want to call her. Let me know if you were surprised by this at all. I didn't think we'd get the reveal quite this early with it only being episode 2, but there are only 6 episodes. So technically we're a third of the way through the season already. So let me know what you thought of the entire episode down in the comments below. Guys, if you're liking the video, once again, just click that like button down there, hit the subscribe button, and of course click the bell so that you get a notification like I just did and ruin my video whenever I drop a new video. Of course, we're covering Loki, we're covering The Flash, we're covering Superman, you name it, and we're always taking suggestions down below. So be sure to hit us with a comment if there's any show that you'd like to see us cover. Also, be sure to check out our sister channel, The Lataquente Ledger, where I host my show, The Granite Geek Show, where we talk all things tech and video games. So thanks, guys, so much for watching. As always, I'm Chris Grant Jr., and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.